to record my.
Thank you very much for staying with us from the first session of this workshop up to today. Really appreciate your commitment and dedication. So today will be the last session for the 5 weeks workshop. And today we'll be looking at developing a systematic review protocol. So our facilitator for today is Dr. Buna Bhandari. Dr. Buna is a postgraduate scholar at Florida State University, and she's an expert in evidence synthesis, implementation science, and mentoring early career researchers. All right, just a minute. I have to show my screen. Okay. Our wealth of experience in conducting and evaluating systematic reviews will guide our final session on drafting a good systematic review protocol. So like in previous sessions, after the 1 hour lecture and question and answers, we would go into our different breakout rooms and do a practical or a group practical activity. This is when you'll get to try out writing a systematic review protocol by ourselves. So before that group practical activity, we'll be sharing with you the instructions, and of course, we'll be available to guide you. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Dr. Buna, the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Fortune, and hello, everyone. Good morning. I'm where I'm based in, it is 9 a.m. here. So I'm currently in Florida, US, and as already mentioned, I'm doing my postdoc here. So basically, my expertise lies in public health and implementation science research, and I have been working in this systematic review methods for long, like as a researcher, as a mentor, and as a facilitator as well. So today I'll be discussing about how to develop the research proposal, like the systematic review, and what are the steps we need to follow. So let's start. So I know because since this workshop is running for long, so you all know like by now like what is the systematic review. So you type in 1 word or 2 words like what is in your mind about the systematic review, because or anyone can just unmute and write the response as well. I know this is a very simple thing and you all know what is the systematic review, right? I assume so. Yeah, you can just type in the chat based on your understanding. You don't need to write a full definition, just 1 or 2 words also would be fine. Anyone? Okay, maybe all of you are just settling in. So let me continue. So it is a very rigorous and organized methods. That's why the name says the systematic, because there are different types of review and the literature review process. Okay, I can see some chat as well. I don't know. I cannot see my, okay. Yeah, systematic, yeah, if Lima has responded like synthesis of information, respond to different research questions, yes, of course, and the process to synthesize the research evidence. Yes, exactly. So it is the method of systematic method of synthesizing the information. And one important thing, like what it differ from other general review is it has some specific questions, like the particular questions or topic. The systematic review is usually in the focus one. If it is a broader, like if you have too many objectives, then that might go with the scoping review and other. But here in the systematic review, we usually try to focus in a particular research questions and try to synthesize the available evidence. And also we not only summarize the evidence, but also try to evaluate the quality of the study, like appraise, like what are the quality of those original studies, and because based on those quality we can draw our conclusion is a strong or like the modest evidence. So systematic review is very important, but the conducting the systematic review also require the expertise and understanding of the method, and also the time commitment. So it required, so I have been telling, like sometime if you say like, okay, I'll do the systematic review in 1 month or 2 months, then I would be surprised, because it involves lots of process and synthesizing the information, and also the it is a kind of the teamwork as well. So in my case, like the fastest systematic review our group have completed is at least 6 months to complete the review, and after that writing the result and publication, it is a long journey, like 1 year or more than that as well. So, and the meta-analysis, I know everyone knows about it as well. Like in systematic review, we synthesize the information, but it's not always necessary to have a meta-analysis. So in meta-analysis, we'll do the meta-analysis in the quantitative systematic review, and we'll try to pull the result from the different studies. There would be the multiple study, like if you have included the 10 studies, so my 5 study might have like the strong evidence, some have the neutral, or some have no effect of some intervention or something like that, right? So you will try to pull the evidence, and it's not only about the intervention, like prevalence as well. Like if I'm talking about the prevalence of hypertension, so there might be the different prevalence presented in the different country, in one country as well. But when you pull the evidence, like from all the study, it has some value. So that could be the reference for the literature as well. So it is just simply the pulling the evidence. So one thing is, not all systematic review include the meta-analysis. So it's not necessary until your research question demands. And sometimes, like if you do not have enough data from your systematic review, you cannot do the meta-analysis as well. It has certain criteria as well, but all the meta-analysis are mostly conducted in systematic review. Means like to do the meta-analysis, you should have a systematic literature synthesis, and also the quality assessment of the evidence is also very important. So yes, in this meta-analysis is done in one of my systematic review, where we were looking at the effectiveness of the intervention for the controlling the blood pressure or the reduction of the blood pressure. So we can see for the systolic blood pressure, there are different studies has presented different finding, like this is one of my RCT, which shows the 8 mmHg reduction, whereas other has the more than that. And but conclude, like while pulling the evidence, we found the 3 mmHg reduction, which was not significant. You can see here, right? So that is also very important, and this is same goes to the diastolic blood pressure. So it depends, but while pulling the evidence, you should have, I'm not going in detail, just a brief information, like you should have a similar study to, like the homogeneous study should be there to include in the meta-analysis. You cannot have a different kind of study. And like, for example, if knowledge, if one study has measured using the different scale and other study has used the different scale, and the numbering is not homogeneous, then you cannot include in the systematic, like meta-analysis. So that is the other aspect. So I'll not go there. So by now you might know that the highest level of evidence is provided by the systematic review of randomized controlled trial, and which include meta-analysis. And now there is an umbrella review as well. So umbrella review is the review of the review. So it includes the systematic review in the study. So umbrella review with meta-analysis is the highest provide the highest level of evidence. So now, if you are planning to do a systematic review, so what are the steps, like the process we should follow? So first of all, like, yeah, there should be some ideas, like if you want to do, like you have some ideas in mind and you have to form a research team with a similar interest or similar expertise. And then I will be discussing the each step separately. So here I'm not taking much time. And then develop research questions and the protocol, which is our main focus for today's session. So this developing the systematic review protocol is a main part before conducting the systematic review. I have seen some of the some people do the review, but without having any protocol, because protocol is the guiding blueprint which guide the process. So this is very important, and registering the systematic review protocol is also very important, because if you have a systematic review, but if you have not registered that before, even you cannot publish those papers, because as a academic editor also I can say, like, we'll check that before publishing a systematic review in the journal, and conducting and publishing and updating the review. That is the process, and this is the step proposed by the Cochrane, in the Cochrane handbook, you can see that. So yeah, first of all, the questions. So main thing is the having the research questions. So what you want to try to answer through your review, and then having the proposal and registering the, some time, like in Cochrane, you even register the title as well. But normally, if we are doing not non-Cochrane review, we'll usually register the protocol, not the title, and then planning the review. And after having this protocol, sometimes you can and remember, publishing the protocol paper and registering the protocol is a different aspect. Some people can
Um,
have a
One moment, Buna. Can you slow down just a little bit?
okay,
The speed is a
sure.
little too fast. Okay,
Oh,
thank you so
sorry.
much.
Sure. Because
Okay, thank you.
I will be discussing this in step by step. So I was trying to just skip the information, but thank you so much. Yes,
No problem.
yeah. So for this step, we will be discussing one by one, but in the Cochrane, if you are doing the Cochrane systematic review, then you have to register the title. But normally, if you are registering in the Prospero, I will be showing you other database for registering later as well. So for there, you don't have to register the title, but you have to register the protocol, your whole systematic review protocol. And you can publish your protocol paper, as a manuscript as well. So publishing the protocol paper and the registering the protocol in systematic review database are the two different things. And yes, like after conducting the review, you can publish the review finding. Actually, like, you can have a two paper from one systematic review. One could be the protocol paper and one could be the final paper, but you should publish your protocol paper before start, like, the completing the review. So if you complete the review and you want to publish the protocol paper, then it will not be useful, and usually journal also would not accept that. So yeah, the same thing which I mentioned before. So when you have some questions in mind, like if you are thinking of doing some systematic review, and explore that, scoping the search mean explore that topic. Sometime whether it would be feasible to do or not, or your expertise or the need of doing that. And if it's not feasible, then okay, drop that idea. But if you think you have to modify these questions, then modify and go ahead and write a protocol. Then register the protocol and publish the paper. It is optional, like it's not compulsory to publish the paper. And then start the searching in the database. And because searching, screening, all these things you have to plan in your protocol. Then after having the all the studies in your database, then you can screen, then data extraction, and optional meta-analysis is also optional. If there is enough data and if your research question demand, then you can do it. And it is a cycle. I mean, once there is one systematic review. It like ideally it should be updated every 5 years, 7 years, because the evidence also keeps updating. But you cannot do the same review like every year. I will be talking that later as well. So, okay, so now the main point. Now, if you are planning a systematic review, then how you should go ahead to develop the proposal or what you should do. So first of all, understand why you want to do a systematic review. It's not just for the sake of the publication. You can have a you want to publish a paper and you don't have other studies, so just do the systematic review. That is not the case. So systematic review should be done based on the need. Okay, I'm seeing some chat. Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. I'll try to slow down. I'm just looking at the chat. And one of the question I see in the chat is, are you saying it compulsory to publish the protocol after the registering it? No compulsory. There is no need to publish the paper, protocol paper. Even, some of the journal does not publish. So there are some specific journal who are open to the publishing the systematic review protocol. So it's not compulsory. And also, did you say registering it should be with Cochrane only? No, it is also not the case, not only Cochrane. So I will be showing later, like what are the places where you can register your systematic review. And okay, there is a question answer box as well. So yeah, I will be, sorry if I miss your question in between, but I will be taking at the end all the questions. So first of all, you should know why you want to do a systematic review. So usually systematic review is done to address the gap in the literature, means what is already there and what is not there, right? So you want to fill that gap. Okay, you can say, okay, for example, if there is some intervention, so different studies might have proposed the different effectiveness. For example, okay, just in my mind, it's coming now, like taking the low salt is beneficial for the blood count. This is now the established fact, right? But there might be other things. So if there is a different level of evidence from the different study, then and there is no concrete answer, then you wanna say that there is a mixed evidence. So I want to do a systematic review to see what is the conclusion, conclusive evidence. So there should be some gap in the literature, otherwise you cannot any research, like you cannot just do for the sake of doing it. And yes, of course, if there is a gap, you want to provide some evidence in particular topic, you can say this has been done in this area, but there is no evidence to guide, so how you know these things means for doing the systematic review, you have to do the thorough literature search before. So I'm trying to be slow. Hope it is fine. Is it okay or is it still fast?
Dr. Buna, please let me hear from the participants. Participants, please let us know if this is okay.
Yeah, you can just think some. I'm trying to be slow, but yeah,
Okay.
it's okay. Okay, okay, thank you. But yeah, you can interrupt anytime and stop me. And also ask the questions, like you don't have to wait till the end. And yeah, as I said, so before doing the or deciding the topic, you can do a thorough literature review. So those literature review will tell you whether you can do the systematic review in that particular topic or not. Because if you want to do a review and if you see there is the just recent published review is already there, then why you want to do that review? Because the evidence is already there. So you don't want to waste your all the time. Even if you do it, like it is very hard to get published, you know. So so you have to do the literature search to see no repetition of the topic, and need of the review means the gap in the literature. And also one more thing is, you find that there is a gap and there is no other review, existing review. But one more thing you have to decide is chances of getting article to be included in your review. For example, if you want to see the effectiveness of some behavior intervention for reducing obesity, for example, but if there is no any original article, then you cannot do a review. At least, you know, for the systematic review, we said at least there should be 2 articles included, at least minimum. But sometimes that is also not enough. Like, so I would say the 4, 5, so that you can pull the evidence. But if it is a very rare topic, then it can be done with at least 2 articles. And you don't know the exact number before conducting your review, but you should see, like, for example, I think we were discussing recently I'm working on some systematic review in smart home project, right? So we wanted to see the there are 2 things. Like, one was we wanted to see the quality of life of old age people who are using the smart home. And other one was we are thinking also whether use of smart home will delay their chances of going to the old age or the assistive care. So here we found that, like, one quality of life, like already there is one review done in 2023, though they did not have the main objective, but they have as a secondary outcome. So we dropped that idea. And other one, like, we try to see, but there is no any original article. So if we go with that review, at the end, we will not find any article to meet our eligibility criteria. So we also drop that topic, because though there is a need, but we could not go ahead, and we cannot take risks, right? So that's why you have to also see, like, whether there is some article. If you find, like, by brief source, like 1, 2 article, then you can start. You can end up having the 5, 10 or more, because in systematic review you use the extensive search strategies. And so if like there is already, if you find there is already the review topic, like the which you want to do, and there is already there, then what you can do is you can check the date. As I said before, like the topic we were interested, but it was done in 2023. So for example, so in your case, we say at least 3, but a 5-year would be, like, it's depend. So if it is, what is the topic, like if it is changeable, then you can do another review in after 3 years as well, but at least 5 years to justify your approach or some addition to those review. And if there is already a systematic review, but if it is not conducted, like these days, there are some predatory journals, and there are some, like the journals with low quality, they can publish though, like some low quality systematic review can be published there. So just check, like, if there is a review, but if that review is not standard, does not follow the standard quality, then you can justify the approach, like their study does not have the methodological rigorness, so that you can fill the gap in your review. So that is also one way. And also sometimes if in their method, like if there is some specific criteria which you are interested in, then the previous review can be differ in some way, then also you can go ahead and still continue. And also, like, you can like for example, there is a review which shows the effectiveness of some intervention, but if you want to see, okay, what is the effectiveness in particular age group or particular population, or population some, so then you can still go ahead and do such review, but you have to justify, and then if you find some of the thing are S or some gap, then you can continue your review. Are there any questions before going ahead? This is just a background before starting the review. Okay. Yeah, keep the question. Okay. I can see the hand raised. Okay, go ahead, Comfort. Yeah.
Okay, good evening, Dr. Buna. Thank you
Yeah.
for this introduction. If we are going to search the topics, where do we search them from?
Okay. Yes, very good questions. So I think you are talking about the searching the topic of previous systematic review, right? What is already available? Am I correct?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. So I think I will be talking later as well, but I will answer here. So for searching the topic, one is you can just do a Google search so that you can find, but you cannot find all the available review in the Google search because some review could be the ongoing. So you have to go to those systematic review registration portal, right? Prospero, and go and type the topic, and if there is already that a topic is registered, then that is ongoing, then also you don't want to repeat that. And the one is Prospero, one is JBI database and Cochrane database where they register the protocol. So this link I'll be providing later as well, and you can see whether there are ongoing review. And sometimes people register the protocol, but if it is more than 5-10 years and then they have not published or they have not any update, then you can still go ahead and do it, because maybe sometime after registration also people sometimes drop the ideas or do not complete the review. So in that case you can continue, but it's searching in the Google search or any, if you have access to the other database like Medline or PubMed, then you can search there as well. Okay, Veronica, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Doc. I hope I'm not taking us back. I've been having this challenge. Most of the systematic review paper I've been checking on contraceptive use, I can't find explicitly where the research question is. Most times what I see is the objective. So please, I'll need you to help me so that I know where the research question is. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Usually in the paper, like in systematic review, so as I said before, it depends on the journal and the reviewer as well, right? So sometime while reviewing, if reviewer asks them, okay, put the research question as well, then the author will sometime put that there. But in most of the cases, you can just find the objective. So I would suggest this research question usually in the registration protocol. When they register that protocol, there is a place they must have to keep the research question. So if you find some paper and they have this registration number, Prospero registration number, and you can go there and enter that number, and that protocol, like their protocol will come out, and in there usually in the research question section you can find the research questions. But in the paper usually they should put those research questions, but I agree with you, you cannot find sometime. Yeah, most of the time. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Very good questions. So if there is no any other now, I will continue and we can keep the questions coming. Okay, so before, like, there should be the team. Like if you have some idea, then you want to do the systematic review, then you should form a team to do the systematic review, like it cannot be done alone. because of the process and the expertise needed for the review. So this kind of workshop is very good platform for you guys to form a team, because you will interact with each other and you know the interest, because you are here because of your interest, and you might find the similar people with the similar interest and the different expertise as well. And in that case, you can collaborate and conduct the review. I hope like some draft proposal you develop in this course will continue and you complete the review as well in future. So the team should have the different expertise and or the knowledge or expertise in the given topic. Like if I'm doing some review in the behavior intervention, but I'm not an expert on that, then I am not qualified to evaluate the quality of those kind of papers. But it's not compulsory to have all the team member should have the same expertise. Some can be the just the method expert, right? Like I'm involved in different, like my expertise lies basically in the non-communicable disease, cardiovascular disease, but some of the other studies like injury, I am there as well. But why is like as a methodological expert, I can guide the team for the method part, but there should be the other team member who should have the content expertise. So try to form a team like that. Some has the content expertise, some has the method expertise, and some has the availability for the screening, like for the screening at least 2 people is needed to screen the article. So depend on the topic, you might come up with the 10,000, 5,000 or less than that paper. So some people who usually in review, that's why we try to include, like if it is a funded project, then you can hire the research assistant. But if it's not, then you can include some student who do not have the method expertise, but they are interested and available, then they can be included in that process as well. So at least 4 to 5 person I would suggest, so that the you can divide the workload as well. So I mentioned before, like some has the expertise in the method, some are the, and I'm saying the librarian because they are very helpful in finalizing the search strategies, but sometimes they should not be in your team always, but they can support in a part if they are available in your university. And some, like if you are doing the meta-analysis, and if other team member do not have that expertise, then you can have some member who have that expertise. So in my all the review, like our team member, different team member have the different expertise. So like if I do not have that content expertise, then I can support in the methodological or meta-analysis way or any other way. And yeah, knowledge of the topic area is very important, because this systematic review finding is considered as evidence, as we already saw those that chart, right? Higher level of evidence. And if we are not expert of those field, like if there is no any expert, I'm not saying everyone, but if there is no expert in that field, then you cannot provide those kind of evidence, what is needed and based on the study. So there should be the knowledge expert as well. Yes, go ahead. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Ma. My issue is got to do with when you're studying PhD, you are supposed to conduct systematic review, and
Mm-hmm.
it should be done in a group. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, the university is expecting that this systematic review should be coming from you. How is that possible that an individual can conduct systematic review? Or if it is done in a group, who owns it? The supervisors for the university accept that this is your work. That's my confusion. I don't know if you get it.
Okay, thank you. So correct me if I get your questions correctly or not. I understand you were asking if you are PhD student and doing the systematic review, and how can you consider as an expert? I hope that was the question, or yeah, questions related to the expert of the field, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so very good questions. Yes, like the first of all, if you are a PhD student, yeah, usually in the PhD, before developing your original study proposal, this is the process, or this is the commonly practice for knowing what is available in the literature and what you can do in future. So one thing is, in PhD, like if you are doing the PhD in certain field, I assume like you are some level of expert. Why? Because if you are taking that topic in the PhD, you have all the background, like master, bachelor, all those, or the research you have done, some of the original, like though it is a small level, like you have some expertise. So after doing the PhD, you would be the expert of that field, but before doing, yeah, you might not have the enough expertise. But one good thing is, in PhD, you have a supervisory team, like if you are doing, like for example, I did my PhD in hypertension management using the digital health. And digital health was new for my PhD when I started, but hypertension research I have been doing. But some of the supervisors should have those expertise, then only I can do that research and they can guide me. So in your supervisory team, I assume some of them might have that expertise, but sometimes they not might have the expertise of doing the systematic review that you can get like the methodological guidance from the literature or this workshop. But the expertise about the topic is, I assume, like you are also considered as some expert, but your supervisory team and from the other university, and sometime you can invite the people if you feel still you need, like as I said, like my supervisory team has the hypertension related expertise but not the digital health, then you can invite them in your review. They should not be part of your supervisory team, but they can just collaborate in your certain systematic review. I hope I could answer your question. If not, we will again discuss. So that's why I'm including here, because I know in my systematic review, I have collaborated many people who is even I haven't met in person or known them, but during this review process, we'll try to see, okay, who has that expertise and who has the, who can guide the in this area. Some could be the knowledge expert, some could be the methodological expert. Like in one of our review, we were trying to do the meta-analysis and dose response analysis. And we, in our team, we had the meta-analysis expertise, but we did not have the expertise for the dose response analysis. Then we invited a statistician from the university who had that expertise to collaborate in our team to do that review, and she particularly contributed to for that analysis. So that's how we can build our team based on the need. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Then, okay, thank you. So then after that, now you have a team and you have some ideas like where you want to, in which area you want to do a systematic review. Then now the main point is developing the protocol, because this protocol will guide your process. So this should be in your hand before starting the final review. So yes, it ensures, if you have a protocol, it ensures the greater understanding among team member, not only like the expertise. So one of the good thing about the proposal is protocol is you will divide the responsibility. Okay, who will do the what, right? Like who will going to register the protocol, who is going to involve in the source, and who is going to involve in the screening, and who is doing the meta-analysis or report writing. So those all things would be need to be clarified, and also the authorship. Usually based on the responsibility, you can decide the authorship as well. And that's why this protocol will help the smooth conduction of the review. And you can use the different guideline to develop your protocol, right? If you are developing the protocol for the Cochrane review, then they have the different format, right? And if you are doing in general, like for example, ourselves, then you can have a look at the Prisma guideline, and in the Prospero, like first you have to register in Prospero, and you can see their checklist template, what are the information needed in your proposal, then you can draft accordingly. And also the good thing about those databases, you can go and check other protocol and see like how they have written, then you can frame your protocol accordingly. And why we need to do a protocol, like why we cannot just directly go to the review is I already highlighted this point. Like one is you can plan the tasks, allocate resources accordingly. For example, like in the terms of resources, now there are many systematic review database, like the Covidence is the one. So if you do not have access to that, but if you're one of the team member have those, then you can collaborate with them, right? So that you can use those software for doing the systematic review. And also the sometime library access, like sometime if you do not have access to searching the database, if your university does not have, but if your some of the team member has, then they can do the search in using their credential, right? So one is the sharing the resources and collaboration, and also sharing the expertise. And also it will ensure like there is no repetition as well, right? I'm not sure about our timing. So because I have to go to my office as well. Okay, so now let's come to the content of the protocol, right? What should be there in your systematic review protocol? So background and rationale, you already know, like all the other protocol, right? Maybe you have other proposal written for the original article as well, original studies as well, and the key research questions, very important, and detailed plan of the method. So we'll be discussing one by one. So in the background, you want to highlight what is already there, right? What is there, and what is the finding in the particular topic. And like if it is an intervention, then what are the intervention, or how they have done, and how it might work or not work, and the gap in the literature. So very important thing is you have to have that gap in the literature, why your system, you have to justify the need to do the systematic review. And yes, why you have to do systematic review now, like what if you do not do it, right? And I mean, there are lots of review going on, but there are lots of these days, especially with this digitalization and availability of article, there are multiple review going on. So how you can stand out your review, or how you can justify your approach is also tricky, like the academic argument is very important. So that is you will highlight in the background section. So if you are further registering the protocol in the Prospero, you don't need to have a long background, like I think only one paragraph is enough. So you have to concise those information. But I would suggest writing a full background of your review, and it will help you if you want to publish a paper, protocol paper, then also it will help you. And in the final review also it will help you. And also you will search the literature during this phase. So having the background is very important after the title. And research questions, yes, I mean you would have questions in mind, right? The first you have a questions, like when you have a title you have some research question, and also the objectives. But why I'm putting it second is like I'm talking about the flow of the your proposal, right? So it comes title, the background, and the research question. So in systematic review there are some guide framework you can use develop your research questions. Like, for example, PICO is commonly used framework. So it is usually used for the intervention studies. Like for P stand for the population, right? Who is your study population? And I, the intervention. What intervention are you interested in? And C is the comparison group, like whom you are comparing, and O is the outcome, like what are the outcome of the interest. So based on the PICO, it is very important you will form your research questions. And like, for example, what is the effectiveness of mobile health intervention for reducing the blood pressure among people with hypertension? Because I'm working on the hypertension, so my example could be repetitive. So it include, like, intervention is mobile health intervention. Outcome is what is the effectiveness of intervention for reducing the blood pressure. So outcome is the blood pressure, right? Reduction of the blood pressure. And the population is people with the hypertension. And comparing, we will compare with the comparing with the usual care or the standard care. So so that's why if it is intervention based, like the effectiveness could be the question, feasibility, cost effectiveness, or anything, right? How does it work or not? And other important questions is it is appropriate or safe, if this intervention is safe or not, right? If it's a drug trial, or if it is a feasible or not. So this kind of multiple questions you might have. And this is also one of the PICO from one of my review. So I collaborated in this review with, I think they are also the researcher from Ghana. So I collaborated with those researchers through my another colleagues in FSU. So we just finished the meta-analysis. So I was involved in this. This was the team has developed the proposal, but they wanted to have someone with the hypertension related expertise and also for the meta-analysis. So in this review, like our population was the patient with the hypertension and music therapy. So that was very interesting to me as well, because I haven't looked at the music therapy intervention for hypertension management. And the control group was the comparison. And we wanted to see the reduction of the systolic and diastolic blood pressure through those intervention. And recently, I think last week, I did the meta-analysis, and it was found effective reducing the blood pressure. So now the manuscript is under like the draft. So you can have, but not always you want to do the systematic review for the intervention, right? So you can do the qualitative studies, mixed method studies. So there might not be intervention component. So there are other 25 questions framework you can use. So this link, you can have that article linked there. So there's 25 framework. So mostly like the PICO, I already told you, that's qualitative. If you are doing the qualitative systematic review, then you want to see like the population, who is your population, context, and what were the question? Okay. So, and the E is the exposure and outcome. So those things you can do, and the SPICE as well. I think setting, population, intervention, context, and exposure. So those kind of term you can use, and you can develop your research questions accordingly. Like this framework, you have to indicate like which framework you use for your study. So PCC and PO is very common in scoping review and the systematic, other qualitative systematic review. Now, after you have a research questions, you develop your inclusion and exclusion criteria. So it is very important, because there are lots of literature available in the lots of articles, like in particular topic. If I say like the hypertension and music therapy, I might come up with the 50,000 article, more than that. But this is the inclusion and exclusion criteria which limit your source number, number of the study. So here it would be decided based on your framework which you are using. If you are using PICO or you are using the other framework, then based on that you will develop the source inclusion and exclusion criteria, like the and what are the design you want to study. So if you are doing the intervention, then you want to include, I mean, you have to include the intervention design, right? Not the other design. And also, but other design, like if you have the broader objective, like how the intervention was developed, then you can have other qualitative design as well. And study area, what is the focus, like you want to do only in Africa or globally, or the sub-Saharan Africa or some country, specifically some country. And population also, like I mentioned before, like the people with hypertension. So if I want to, I have to be specific later, like the what is the age group, whether I want to focus on the age above 30 or above 18 years, and I have to justify those things as well. And type of the intervention, what kind of intervention we want to see, like educational, mobile. So that also the detailed description is needed. And so this inclusion and exclusion criteria will determine your source term as well. And outcome measures as well. What are the outcome, like reduction of the blood pressure? In that also, I might say the only systolic blood pressure is a primary outcome. So very important is that therefore the systematic review is the specific, you cannot say generally, like the improving the health of some people, then that is very general. But how you measure that improving the health, right? What is the indicator you are using? So if it is not specific, then rather you want to go with the scoping review than the systematic review. And then you will develop the source strategy, like the based on your inclusion exclusion criteria. Like in my previous example, I might want to include like the clear keyword are the hypertension, music therapy, people with the hypertension, but blood pressure and all those things. But you have to develop with this keyword, you have to develop the detailed source strategies like mesh term. So here to develop the source strategy, I usually collaborate with the librarian. And I have been lucky, like in a sense, because not always there would be the librarian. So when I started my systematic review, my first systematic review, I was also like among you guys, right? So I did not have the knowledge about, so at that time I was lucky to get support from the librarian, and she was very helpful in guiding me how to find those keywords, how to have a comprehensive source term. You don't want to have a lots of keyword. If they're not specific, you come up with a lots of article, but you don't want to miss those articles as well. So till now, like here also I'm doing many systematic review, but for the source term, I always rely on the librarian. But if you do not have a librarian, then you might want to learn or go and see how you can decide those keywords, find the keyword, and you can see those keywords in the previous review as well. Like usually people publish those source strategy, I mean they have to publish. So from there also you can see some keywords and you can refer that, and also see other literature and decide your keyword, and run the preliminary search before doing the final search. Then, so, but here we are talking about the proposal. So it means you have to decide that in the proposal, and then only you can conduct those in review. So that's why I'm saying librarian are a great friend. So this is my first systematic review I did when I was in Australia. So at that time, so librarians should not be included in your team as well. They can be acknowledged in your, so I have like in your, if they have just supported in for the search strategy, then you can just acknowledge them in your paper with their permission. So she was very helpful, right? So this is only one database keyword, so search term. So this asterisk or the this background, what you call the apostrophe marks. So those things are has the different meaning in the source. So and this comma, like you can see, like this here, death sudden, or cardiac. So you don't want to miss the any word. So if I'm saying cardiovascular disease, my interest was like our topic was to see the consumption effect of the consumption of the food groups on cardiovascular mortality. So one is the cardiovascular outcome was our outcome, but you can see here the how the cardiovascular outcome were decided, right? Like the describe like stroke, cerebrovascular disease, and all those terms. So if you do not have, and this is published in the paper as well, like in any of my previous review, not only mine, like all the other publication as well, like you have to have those sorts of strategy published as a supplementary file as well. So you can go and check, right, like other similar review, if they have that kind of, then you can refer some. So for the meat also, like, so these all the terms, because I'm not expert in this all the terms, but librarian helped me during that time, and you can have that in your team, if not librarian, but you can learn as well. And that is the plan. So then you can plan what are the database you want to include in your review, like PubMed, Medline. So at least 2 database we will say, because if you do not have many database, then your chances of missing the article is high. Those data paper which are not openly available. So based on the field also you can decide. So at least 2, but we will consider 4, 5 database. And also, like, if you do not have access to the database, you can collaborate with someone who has those access, and they can share the resources as well as a team. And that is the plan. And also plan to use some reference manager software like EndNote or Zotero, what you want to use. So, and for the systematic review, like you might want to use the software like the previously it was a Rebman. I think also the Rebman is there, but I am not sure whether you can use for the non-Cochrane review. But I have been using the Covidence for long, and that is very helpful. And even you can collaborate with someone who had the Covidence. That is very nice software. So also this is also included in the planning phase, which software you want to use, and also the plan for the screening, like title and abstract screening, like who is responsible for those things. Usually 2 people will need it for the initial screening, and then if there is a conflict, like one says okay it should be included and other says no it should be excluded, then there will be the conflict. So in that case the third reviewer can come and decide after discussion, like the about based on the eligibility criteria. And it's not, and in Covidence you can see, right, like if there is a conflict, that article goes in that section. So it is very user friendly, but I'm not sure if it is freely available or not. And also the same goes to the full text review, and also the data extraction. So clearly, like how your data will be extracted, what you are going to extract, right? So you should have outcome, like what are the data you want to exclude, like extract from the study, if it is qualitative or quantitative. So have a template, prepare the template for the data extraction and some plan in your proposal. And if you have a good proposal, then you can your journey for the systematic review will be very easy. And also the what kind of analysis you are doing, like you can say, like if you want to do the meta-analysis, but sometimes you might not get the article enough to do the meta-analysis, then you can also plan, like if we get enough article, like similar article, then we'll do the meta-analysis using this method or other subgroup analysis. And also for the systematic review, the very important is the risk of bias assessment. So you have to specify the which tool you are going to use for doing the risk of bias assessment. And you can see in the Cochrane database also there are different tools, and based on the study design, the tool is different. Like if it is RCT, so I can see some questions, but I'm going to take it at the last. So I'll be answering all the questions and other as well. So commonly, if it is RCT, if we are doing including the studies with a randomized control trial, then ROB tool, and also there is a tool for non-randomized trial, observational studies as well, or some qualitative design. So based on the design, there are like for the cohort case control and Newcastle tool, and other design like MMAT is for the mixed method. So there are the lots of tool available, but decide among yourself and the team member like which tool you want to use, and they have the guideline there, and who is going to do those risk of bias assessment, because that's why it is very time consuming. So if that's why I say, like, if anyone say like we did in a 1 month, then I would not believe the quality of the review. If like unless like you spend the whole year 24 hours for that. Yeah. And for this writing the systematic review protocol, there are the Prisma P guideline, right? And there is a Prospero where you can register the systematic review. They also have a template, and the open science framework, this is also the freely available. So they also have some template. Here you can even register the scoping review, where we cannot register scoping review in Prospero. And there is a JBI guide protocol template as well, and Cochrane template as well. So you can follow any, and this is the Prisma guideline. So here also like the title, if you submit your paper or the protocol to any journal, you have to specify where you have included this, right? So protocol title, and also the registration, if register, what is the number, registration number. So in these, all the things are needed, like for the method, eligibility criteria, search strategy, everything. So this guideline you can follow, and what are the methods. So if you see those Prisma P guideline and other template, then it is very easy to follow. And this is the protocol template of the Cochrane. It is almost like, I think the method is almost similar, but how they frame their template, some might be the different, but it's the process is same. And yes, after the I have been telling this from the beginning, like after you have the protocol, you want to register that before starting the review, because one is you patent your idea, right? So when you register, and if other people are trying to do in the same topic, then they will see your name there, or your title there, so they might not repeat the same thing. And so you can check this, there is a link attached, so how to register this protocol there. So most common and easy is the Prospero registering the protocol, but if you have the scoping review, then you can go with the open science framework or the JBI, and the Cochrane is the hardest. Like it would take a lot, only for the registration it would take more than a year. So yes. So yes, this is this Prospero. You can create your account and you can register your review. There is the guideline, and you can see other review as well, and it is very user friendly. So yeah. And I have written one article about how to what are the different type of review and some. So this is also I think you can Google and find this, or I have provided the reference as well. These are my some systematic review already published, and there are more. I could not get time to update because yeah, and these are my ongoing these are the ongoing review, and some of them are already published. So yeah, this is the music intervention I was telling before, and yeah, we have done some umbrella. So one of the umbrella review is also just I think published. So that is my first umbrella review for the Smart Health Home project. So yeah, these are the references, and I think I will stop now. So yeah, if you want to have any questions, please unmute yourself or type in the chat button. Thank you so much for your patience, and I hope it was understandable. So I'm taking some questions from here, like, are there any specific journal for publishing the systematic review protocol? Yes, there is one journal, either I think from the BMC, like it is a systematic review journal or systematic review protocol. So they are open to publish the systematic review. And another one is BMJ Open is very open to systematic review protocol. In fact, we have published our 2 protocol in BMJ Open. And sometimes some of the journal do not accept the, and I think JIMR also, Journal of Medical International Research, but it is mostly focused on the digital health. And even you can publish in the JBI, I think they have the JBI on journal, so there also you can publish and check the author's guideline. And sometimes they do not accept the protocol paper. Sometimes they write the protocol, but that means the protocol of the randomized control trial. So check with the journal editor before submitting if you are not clear. So yes, if there a PPT presentation, there is either, oh, I don't know, like the PPT presentation someone was not seeing. I hope, Fortune, like everyone was seeing the presentation. Someone.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I think it, yes.
Yeah. What tool did she say she normally use, please? Tool, you mean software for the systematic review? I don't know the tool, but if you were asking the software, then I usually use the, what you call, the Covidence. And okay.
Yeah, Michael, please could you clarify what so?
Yeah, Michael, can you clarify like the tool? Okay, maybe we'll wait.
Yeah.
Okay, Fortune, is there any?
Okay, Dr. Buna,
Mhm.
please, before you continue with the questions in the chat box, there's a question in the Q&A box, which is how big should the team be in terms of numbers? That's a systematic review team you are forming.
Okay. So, I was going to chat box, but okay. How big the team be in terms of number? So the number is not the decisive number. You cannot say, I would say at least 2, right? At least 2. But sometimes only 2 is, as I showed you the process, so 2 might not be enough. So in my review, at least I have 4 to 5 researchers, at least. And max, we had, I think, 9 or 10. But sometime, having a too large group also would not be better to manage the group. So I would say 4 to 6 number is fine, until and unless you don't have, you can do with a 2-3 people as well. Yeah. Okay. So other questions I cannot see in the question answer. Should I continue with the chat box questions, Fortune?
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. And Michael asked, like, is registering a protocol necessary for management studies? So I'm not quite sure about the management studies, but I think the registration is important, because in our public health or health related systematic review, if it is not registered, it would not get published. So if there is any exception in the management, maybe check with that, but I'm not sure at this stage for the management study. Sorry about that. And can you show us the page available researchers slide again? Page, I don't get this question, Luis. Okay. Is there any contact address for? Okay, I have my email. I think Fortune can share that, but because I had the email, but I did not put here, because sometimes, I do not get time to respond. So that's why, like, okay, but still you can contact and you can wait. I will try to respond. So Fortune can share my email as well. Sorry about that. Yeah. And any need for ethical approval for systematic? No, because systematic review, you are just doing the secondary analysis and you are extracting the data from the already available papers. So you are not dealing with individually with the human participant or any other samples. So systematic review ethical approval is not needed. Only the doing for the original study we need the ethical approval. Okay, thank you, Beatrice, for the comment. So LinkedIn, Buna Bhandari is not showing up on LinkedIn. Kindly share the LinkedIn ID. Oh, it is a Buna Bhandari, so I should be there. Yeah, this is a. I'm checking. Buna Bhandari PhD, it is there. So maybe while sharing the slide, Fortune, please share the link of my LinkedIn as well, or I will try to share here. Are there any other? Okay, let me stop the slide share. I'll try to put my LinkedIn here. Till then, please unmute and ask the questions. Okay, so this is my LinkedIn ID and this is my email. I'm typing. Okay, this is my personal Gmail. Okay. So, yeah, are there any other questions? Okay, if no, then I think I will stop here. Thank you everyone for your active participation, and I hope it would be helpful in your systematic review journey. And yes, there would be the practical session. Sorry, I have to go through my work, so I would not be available to join the practical session. But Fortune and Julia, they will share the guideline and the what you are going to do in the practical session. So mostly I think it is about the developing the protocol for your review. So I would say try to form a group with similar interest and also try to continue this after finishing this workshop as well. And all the best. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Buna. Really appreciate your time and your interest in always supporting all our events. Thank you very much. It's very, very interesting to have you facilitate the session once again.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right,
thank
so
you.
like you said, I'm happy to share your details with the participant. I mean, your email, your LinkedIn.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye and continue. Bye.
Can you do that, please? Hello, everybody. I guess everyone is back. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, you can.
Thank you very much, everybody. So we're wrapping this session today. I will not say we're wrapping the course because we're not wrapping the course up till, up until we issue our certificates. So I just want to give some final announcements, please. But then before that, I'd like to comment a little bit on the group activity for today. First is that, of course, we can schedule another time and, keep discussing with group members and see how we can complete it up to Monday. Well, of course, we've been relaxing it these days up to Tuesday. So if you're not able to meet up by Monday, Tuesday is fine. But you have to wrap up by Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. West African time. Okay, so we included a component that is not, or sorry, was not initially part of the course outline, that is data to be extracted. That was done on purpose to make it a little bit challenging, because otherwise it would be monotonous. You would be doing the same thing that you've been doing. So the background or rationale and the data to be extracted were like the new components that we brought in from what you've been doing before. So we already clarified what the background rationale was or what is expected. But for the data to be extracted, it's essentially what kind of data, because in the systematic review, you're pulling together studies. So what kind of data are you interested in? What kind of data would you be extracting from these studies? And they could be population-related data, like the population themselves. Is it women of reproductive age, or the age of the population? Maybe the study setting. It could be article-related data, like the year the study was conducted, the year the study was published. It could be study design, and so on and so forth. Then you could use maybe your PICO as a guideline. You could also, yes, you could use your PICO or whatever framework you're using as a guideline of the kind of data that you should extract. So you of course will have to extract your interventions as well. There could be more than one data that you have to extract for the intervention. The comparator as well. And of course, very, very, very important, your outcomes. What outcomes are you interested in? Is it age at first pregnancy? I mean, is it maternal mortality rate, or whatever it is your review is all about? So it's a lot of information. And then, of course, eventually, when the review is ready, you have to construct a table to present all this information. So we would be sharing resources for some of these things that our course have not covered. Okay, so please, I would like to, before we give our announcement, I would like to get your feedbacks and your questions regarding the course so far. So we've had 5 live sessions, 5 group activities, I think 4 formatives. The next one will drop, of course, as soon as this call is over. So we'd like to know your feedbacks. We know that there were lots of challenges at the beginning, but we'd like to know how, or what your experience has been like, especially with our efforts to improve on some of these challenges. We'd like to know also how and if impactful this course has been. And of course, we would be hosting courses like this in future. So really interested in your contributions as to what we could possibly improve in the future. Thank you very much. See 2 hands already. Daniel, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. It has been very impressive and insightful, and we have actually been built up and equipping us to really be very useful to ourselves in terms of systematic review and all that. So personally, I appreciate that. I wanted to, like, I don't know, in our usual way, because my group, we have actually done something on this very group assignment. If there's still time, we wouldn't mind presenting our own. Let it be off our neck.
Okay, that's noted. Please, I'll respond to that. Veronica, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much, Fortune and team. But please, I need my peer reviewer. Sorry, she sent her assessment. It's like it entered my spam. I didn't see it. I've been searching until I spoke to her and I discovered that she actually sent it. So please, the fault is mine. I checked, I didn't see. I've been checking all through. That's one of it. Then secondly, I want to appeal that subsequently the session on the search strategy and even this last session should be made 2 sessions so that some of us who are new or who are still learning, we can catch up. just lumping it as one session, to me, it's not really doing justice or helping us. That's my observation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I will respond. Joel, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you for this session. Thank you for putting all these activities together. It has been a learning opportunities and a fruitful one. So my own question or request is that, is there any planned training or session for meta-analysis?
Thank you very much. I'll just start with the first question. I'm sorry, Daniel, we would not have sufficient time because we're already spilling over by 7 minutes. So we'll not be taking presentations for today. Then, Veronica, to your question about lumping the session, yeah, it's very difficult because it's a lot to cover for systematic reviews. And normally we're supposed to have covered data extraction and even risk of bias assessment, but it's a lot to even cover in a month. So we have to let go of some of those topics. And if you try to break down one particular topic into 2 or 3, again, it takes a lot of time. So rightly, some of these topics are courses or like workshops on their own. For example, the literature search is like a workshop on its own. And we'll plan in future to do a workshop that is purely on literature search. So for that workshop, you would be taken through as many databases as possible. It's going to be maybe for a month or at least 2 to 3 weeks. So that's the response to that. But thank you very much for the feedback. For the workshop on meta-analysis, is absolutely we may hold a workshop on meta-analysis end of this year or next year. So it depends on the kind of feedback and requests we'll get from community members. Yes, for data extraction, screening, and all those, we have recorded sessions already. So we'll be sharing our use bundles with you. And if we see that there is a need to host webinars, like I said, we would very likely host webinars on these topics in the future. Okay, so that's okay. So one thing I want to mention is that we have librarians in our network, in our systematic reviews network. So one of the things we can offer, one of the things you can do is connect you to some of these librarians. So let's say you plan to work on a systematic review and you need support from a librarian or you need access to databases that are not free or that you don't have access to. We have people who can assist with this. But of course, because the number of people we have is limited, we have to be able to screen what you want us to help you with. We may not be able to respond to everybody. We may have to we might have to focus on those that have very good protocols and have very good mentorship support in place. So we also have people in a network that are expert in meta-analysis and quantitative synthesis. So one of the things we could do is to connect you to these experts. So let's say you work on a review and it needs meta-analysis. So you could reach out and then we could connect you to the expert. Sorry if I'm speaking too fast. We could connect you to the expert from the conceptualization. Please note that both the librarian and the meta-analysis expert should be involved from the beginning and not after everything has been done. So yes, we've gotten lots of questions about future opportunities and mentorship. Yes, we have that in mind. In the summative assessment, that's like the final work that you have to do. You'll be required to individually develop a full protocol. And we may be able to select a few of those protocols for mentorship because currently we're really strained of human capacity. So we'll not have mentors to go around. I mean, there are over 40 people on call, so we don't have that number of mentors. So we may be able to select just a few, but then we you could sort out mentors for yourself. If you're in a WhatsApp community, you could indicate that you're working on this review and you're looking forward to getting a mentor who can support you. And I would not say certain, but I believe that you would get 1 or 2 persons who would be happy to support. And then if you're willing to do something like this, you could let me know personally, or maybe Julia or any of my colleagues, and we could scale it to other groups, because we don't just have one group. We have many WhatsApp groups and we have a Google community group. So we could scale that your requests to other groups as well. So we also have our author aid platform. And in the author aid, sorry, we are not called Rising Scholars. In the Rising Scholars platform, you can search for a mentor on a systematic review. So if you're in Rising Scholar Network already, you should be able to, you should have maybe used that feature already. In the website, you can see people who are available for mentorship, for systematic reviews, or for any other area in research. And then you could message them or write them or indicate your interest. So if you want to do this, or you're experiencing any challenge, you could write to me and I'm happy to respond. Sorry?
I think that again, I didn't get this right. And you mentioned a site where you can go for mentors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll share it. I'll share it, please. I'll share it. It's called Rising Scholars, formerly Author Aid. All right. So for the summative instructions, we will be sending it maybe today or tomorrow or before the end of the week. And we might not give so much time, because majority of the content should probably be what you've done already. We're just going to give a few extra tasks that will make the whole difference. So we're not giving enough time as expected. So kindly expect, or schedule it for maybe the first 2 weeks of the new month. So then for the certificates, we had clarified from the beginning that there are 2 kinds of certificate we'll be issuing: certificate of participation and certificate of merit, or completion, sorry. So certificate of completion will be given to those who have met 80% of our criteria, and that includes joining the live sessions, the group activities, submitting the formative assessment, and we'll cumulate all those scores. And if it's 80%, it's certificate of completion. Otherwise, we are sorry that we'll be giving a certificate of participation. So we have shared links to our platforms in the chat box. Please feel free to follow us across LinkedIn, WhatsApp, Twitter, even YouTube. We have lots of very engaging videos on YouTube, and we're happy to always provide support beyond this training. So I'd like to take 1 or 2 other questions, please. Michael and Tajuddin, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much for this platform, Fortune and the team. For me, I've learned a lot, okay, even though I am in academics, but SLR is one of those reviews that I don't know. Of course, I can't say I know it 100% now, okay, because this is just introducing me to it. But then I've learned, a lot of things. Just to share that today I was invited to be a reviewer in a defense in my university, and then the presenter didn't do SLR, just the normal thesis work, and then he brought in Pico. So, I was confident enough to take him on Pico, okay, because you didn't do SLR, so where does Pico come in? And so I was talking like a pro. Okay, all thanks to this platform. Having said that, I want to suggest, thank you for the clap. I want to suggest, I am a management person, marketing specifically, and from the one, some of us have said the guests on this platform are mostly health scientists. Okay, maybe in the nearest future you may want to do a separate session for those of us in management and another one for people in sciences, so that we speak our language, and just that. Otherwise, it's been a great time, and I appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Michael. So quickly, I want to really apologize. Systematic reviews originated from healthcare. The majority of facilitators, speakers out there, or even in our network, are people from the healthcare. So it's difficult to get people from other fields. And even when we emphasize to the facilitators that can you use examples from other fields, it's difficult for them as well because it's their field. It easily comes to mind to use examples in their own field. So yes, that is a very important consideration. Hosting webinars that are specific to maybe education, life sciences, and yeah, we're very happy to consider that in future.
Fortune, can I add to your comment, please?
Oh, okay, please go
This is
ahead.
Julia. Can I just quickly add to your comment? I have in Trinidad and Tobago, we are sort of now coming on stream and doing systematic reviews. It is, as what Fortune said, it's mostly done in the healthcare field. Now it's being branched to see more in social sciences, in agriculture, in management studies, and so forth. So it's fairly new to some institutions. So what we will try to do in Systematic Review Network is try to expand and trying to get more persons in the different fields to be part of our network to offer mentorship and also to be able to provide webinars in those different fields. So we thank for your patience and we're working on it, as Fortune said, and we will see how we can work out and get an additional workshop in different fields. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Tajuddin, please, sorry, that will have to be the last question.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Fortune and team. It's been a very wonderful journey and a fantastic one. However, I just want to point out some of the things that happened to me, the way I walked through as a personal gap and for possible improvement. And so from day one, it looks a little bit facade. And hello? Hello? Can I be heard?
Yes,
Yes,
please.
go on.
Yes, go
We can
ahead.
hear you. Go on.
Okay, so I'm really busy facade and more like nobody knows or understand words, and then we go from one point to the other. However, I realized that some of the emails are actually coming for instructive guidelines and all of that, but because there are not regular emails to our emails, for example, I'm on an Hotmail, and most of these mails goes to my junk. And so I missed out. In fact, I didn't join the WhatsApp group on time, and I didn't have a prelude of whatever must have happened on the WhatsApp. So this is what I was looking at, possibly, even in the course of filling the form, our participant's WhatsApp number can be asked for, and then everybody can be put automatically on the WhatsApp group. And then more or less like a walkthrough of activities in terms of what to look out for in the emails, the guidelines, and how to identify your peer reviewer, what to do with the Google forms, how to submit your formative assignments, and all of that could have been shared in the WhatsApp group before the class starts. And so everybody is not running from one point to the other, and then we get to miss out on the valuable time that is not available. Overall, this has been a very, very wonderful session, and I must tell you, I've actually improved from 0.0 to over 100, and wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone from the SRN team.
All right, thank you very much, Tajuddin. I apologize for that, but I'm sure that we had sent a majority of the guidelines before the course started. But yeah, it could be possible that you had not received them. Maybe they went to your spam. But yes, we have taken the contribution, and then we're happy to put this in our lineup of things to amend in future events. So please, one final thing we like to emphasize is that please, we encourage that you keep staying connected to your peer. That's the whole idea behind the peer review grading system. And of course, the group activity. We understand that systematic reviews are best conducted. I mean, the guideline is at least two persons in a team, so you can't do it alone. You have to always depend on the expertise and contributions from others. So for us, we take the social interaction very important. We take the networking very important. We consider it as important as the knowledge that you've gained from the program. And we're really looking forward to how this collaboration can, bring up something fruitful in future. So thank you very much. Once again, I'm Fortune Effiong, and I'm happy to have led this course alongside my colleagues. Many of them are not here anyways. But Julia is here. Thank you very much, Julia, for the support. Thank you, God Save. Thank you, Roslyn. I don't know if she's here. Nafisa and Kingsley, Letitia, Cynthia. I know they'll be listening to this recording. So thank you very much, everybody. We'd like to thank Rising Scholars as well. We're formerly called AuthorHead. Rising Scholars is a global research community, and they have been very supportive of our initiatives. We'll be sharing their handles and, of course, a link to their website along. I think Julia already shared that in the chat box. It's a good platform for you to connect with other researchers. All right. We are not ending the course. We are very happy to keep in touch, respond to your emails, and of course, assist in any way we can. Finally, please, can we humbly request that you put on your camera if it's possible? We would like to take a group photo. Thank you. Please, if it's possible, we're just going to put mine now. Right. Can you please put on your camera if it's possible? I'm going to. So I'll take the photo in 5. I'll start taking 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll take the first frame. I will take so lots of persons are not putting on their camera here, but I'll still take it. All right, thank you very much, everybody. I'm really happy, and we're really looking forward to how this will progress into real actions.
Please take the photo again.
Okay, sure, I can do that. I'll take it again, and I'll take it. Okay.
Please, Mr. Effiong, how can we keep in touch with you?
Oh, yes, my email is I'm in a WhatsApp group, and I'll be sharing my email as well. But of course, I have access to the systematic reviews email. So if you send an email there, I'm able to go through it.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so we'll be ending the meeting now. Goodbye, good night, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you're joining us from. And I hope you enjoyed
Sorry,
the rest
Mr.
of the
Effiong. It's just now that I realized today is our last day with you on this program.
Oh, okay.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe that.
I normally laugh.
Oh my.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course, we'll keep in touch. I'm happy to respond to your emails.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. All right. So ending it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Oh, I see Godswill. Yeah, thank you, Godswill. I don't know which of our SRN team members I have not appreciated. I'm sorry if you listen to this recording and I've not mentioned your name. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have a great day, everybody.